Hello everybody, it's Premiere Gal here. Today we're going to talk about voiceover. Now, in addition to video editing, I'm also a full-time producer where I shoot, edit, direct, I pretty much do everything. So when I started producing more explainer videos, I had to look for voiceover talent. I was looking between, $150 and like $500 for this budget, which is not easy to come by. But I discovered that Envato Market, which also has VideoHive, if you're a motion graphic artist or an editor that's used templates, that's where you buy templates. But they also have a studio where you can request custom orders to be done. I went on Envato Studio, and the way it works is you can browse various different artists' demos. And you can say, oh, I like their voice for this project. And you place an order. It's all remote. You don't have to worry about going and buying a mic in your own studio to bring them in. So I've worked with Voiceover Gal, Christy Bowen, and Sean Caldwell, 3 artists that are featured on Envato. Working with them, I developed a list of feedback tips, and I've written a blog that's in connection with this video on screenlight.tv that goes into depth of the various different tips that I have for giving feedback or direction to your voiceover, right? And this is one of the things that, I struggled with when I first started because I didn't take a class on how to give feedback, right? Like, this is a skill that you have to sort of learn by doing. So I hope that these tools will help you get started if you want to start giving voiceover direction or working with some of the artists on Envato Studio, right? So my first tip is it's all about the emotional journey, right? The voiceover artist doesn't really care about the content. They just want to know what emotion do you want to give to the viewer, right? What human emotion? Do you want it to be cheery? Do you want it to be compassionate? It really depends on the goal of your video, right? Which leads me to the second one. What's the purpose of your video, right? What's the goal? Do you just want to transmit information? Do you want to comfort the audience? These are questions you can ask yourself. Also, give positive feedback. Like, I'm all about stating something positive, but also be critical. The voiceover artist wants you to be honest with them because what they want to do is provide the best voiceover track that you need. So if you're not honest, then what's the point, right? So, give positive feedback, but also be critical and say the things that you don't like and work together to improve it. So now I'm going to welcome Sean Caldwell. Sean is a fantastic voiceover artist that I found on Envato Studio. He's done spots for TV, for radio, for commercials. He's worked with Comcast Sports, T-Mobile, CBS, and heaps more. So what I'm going to do is invite Sean to come in, and we're going to have a live session together. He's based in Florida. He's going to connect me via this web platform called Source Connect, where I can hear him and give him feedback live, okay? So let's go ahead and welcome Sean.
Hello.
Hello, Sean.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited to, demonstrate this feedback process with you. So thanks again for being here. So to demonstrate the feedback for this script, right? It's basically an explainer video. It's supposed to be kind of fun, right? It's supposed to have like a fun tone, Sean. So did you have any specific questions from the script?
No, I see the different places where you've italicized some things, and
right.
That makes it helpful to be able to see that you want a little different treatment on those words.
Exactly. So, I'm for the school of thought that you just sort of run through it and I can give you any feedback. I can take notes on my end so that way you don't have to really do anything on your end, just sort of focus mainly on the emotion, right?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. I think a common question that a voiceover artist might have is, does it need to fit in any specific time? Does it have to be exactly 59 seconds? Does it need to be under 90 seconds? Or in this case, does it not matter?
So that's another question too. Since I'm going to be editing this, I have a lot of editing power on my end. This doesn't have to be on a specific radio spot or on a TV spot. But yeah, that's a great question, Sean, that typically if you're directing voiceovers, you should provide that information to them in advance.
All right. Well, I'm ready to go, and we'll kind of zero in on pacing and attitude and see if you like it. I'll roll off a few sentences if that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, great. Let me just get levels of my headphones good, and here goes. Do you want to direct a voiceover artist, but you don't know how? Don't fret. I'm a voiceover artist myself, and I'm here to give you some feedback on how you can best direct me. To keep it simple, voiceover direction can be broken into 3 parts: pace, style, and emotion. For pacing, this is the speed of how we read. So far, does it have the right kind of feel for you?
Yeah, I'm digging it. I like that.
Okay, super. I'll just turn you down for a minute. I'll check back in with you in just a moment, and here goes for real.
Okay.
Do you want to direct a voiceover artist, but you don't know how? Don't fret. I'm a voiceover artist myself, and I'm here to give you some feedback on how you can best direct me. To keep it simple, voiceover direction can be broken into 3 parts: pace, style, and emotion. For pacing, this is the speed of how we read. Do you want pauses between phrases, or a fast run like commercial ad pacing? Is there a time limit for the ad? Are there pauses in places to match the visuals? Now onto style. This is the tone and feel of your video. For example, is it conversational, salesy, cheeky, or maybe ironic? And 3, what type of emotion do you want to give the viewer? Uplifting? Is the video's goal to give them a call to action, to instill confidence, or to get them to consider a choice? These are just 3 easy ways you can help me, your voiceover artist, understand what your project needs, and it'll ultimately make your video a more effective product. So remember, pace, style, and emotion. And now, you're a voiceover director.
All right.
All right, what do you think?
I think it's fantastic, and you make it easy for us because you're such a professional. But I think also the fact that we communicated so well before and we've worked together, that we really do have a good, sort of connection in that sense.
Yes.
I think you put emphasis on the correct words, and it helped that I did italicize. What would be like another way, Sean, that you would read this?
So if it was not this content, but it was maybe some other content that you were doing, I'll do a lot of things for, say, hospitals or financial institutions, which want to instill a lot of confidence. It's not really bright, it's not chipper, it's not happy,
Right.
but they also don't want it to be boring.
Right, exactly.
So that might be something like, do you want to direct a voiceover artist, but you don't know how? Don't fret. I'm a voiceover artist myself, and I'm here to give you some feedback on how you can best direct me. So a little more comforting, a little
Right.
more confident, I guess.
Right, so the pace that we just did it at before was more fun, kind of cheeky, and then that was more toned down, more comforting, like I'm assuring you that everything's going to be okay, right?
Yes. Yep, I'm here to hold your hand. I'm follow me.
Is there anything else that you want to say to the viewers now that we have them here?
I think one other thing that's pretty helpful is if there's a place in the video where the visuals need some time to establish. So for instance, there's the list where we say, for example, is it conversational, salesy, cheeky, or maybe ironic? If you're going to have 3 or 4 different visuals to show some of that, it would be pretty helpful to communicate that to the voiceover talent so that they give you that space to let the visuals establish themselves and then fade into the next one so that it's not just read conversational, salesy, cheeky, or maybe ironic. Instead, it's with a little bit of a pause in between each one.
That's a very good point that I forgot about. And we've done that a lot too, where like you have to have lists that are on the screen or like an icon that pops up. So that would definitely, work well, that sort of pausing in between for when you're editing to visuals that need to be kind of processed more by the viewer. So great tip for that. This is all the time we need with you right now. And I'll let you know when we make the video live.
That sounds great. Should I end my recording here then?
Yeah, absolutely. So now that I've recorded with Sean, what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to upload the audio file that he sent me from our recording to screenlight.tv. Click on this plus button here to add a project. I'm going to name the project Voiceover Feedback with Sean. So now what you have to do is hit this cloud button with the arrow, upload assets to this project. So I'm going to add a file. I'm going to go to my desktop, go to Sean Caldwell Recording, and take this WAV file. So it'll just take about a minute to upload the WAV file. It's about 63 megabytes. Now that it's done processing in Screenlight, and this is what I was talking about where you can add comments. So I listened to this already, and at about, I think it was 4 minutes and 19 seconds. If we listen here.
3 easy ways you can help me, your voiceover artist, understand what your project needs. And it'll ultimately...
So there was a little bit of a breath there between needs. So let's go back a little bit here. We may want him to just re-record that section so we have a little bit more space so we don't get that, we can edit out that breath, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a comment here. by typing your comment in just below the audio track. So I'm going to say, please re-record with more of a space between needs and the next line. And then you hit save. And now you can see that there's a marker here that includes my comment. So this is just one way that you can give feedback, and it works well when you're working remotely with Envato Artist. So I encourage you to go check out Envato Studio as well as Screenlight to see how you could best give feedback to your voiceover artist. And I hope that you found these tips useful, and I encourage you to just go out there and start practicing. Best feedback, that's how you get better. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.